And before you have to disappear, Nick, this in on our US F1 saga. Sir, I would like to let you know that American toaster technology is the envy of the world, the entire world. There are more toasters in America than there are people in North America outside of the United States. In fact, many American households are two toaster families, while many citizens of Central America and a certain Canadian province have never even seen a simple two-slice toaster, never mind a one four-slice multi-bagel capable semi-automatic ceramic element mega toaster with a high gloss cadmium finish and dual under oven self-emptying crumb trays. Hardly the sort of technology for technology's sake that legion of toasterless third world Formula One fans have become accustomed to since the bizarre decision by the FIA to replace fuel with so-called avgas for the 1958 Formula One season. Madness. This single decision removed from Formula One the heady olfactory sensations that were a major component of so-called Grand Prix racing since the glory days of the 1930s, when true Grand Prix cars smelled almost as good as a proper four-slice American toaster set on medium-high, filled with raisin and sourdough breads. Those were the days. American toaster aficionados will have none of this wobbly thinking. In fact, if the FIA and or the CSI were in charge of international toaster regs, we'd still be toasting our breads and bagels with some kind of ancient and clumsy direct current toaster as proposed by the FIT, Federation International de Toaster. Luddite madness, I say. Oh wait, nurse says it's time for my morning medications. Ooh, two pink ones and a brown one. Yummy. And that comes from the sub-vice chairman of the Toaster Owners Support Society. Do that yourself, which would be one certain. Who do we think?
Who?
Charles Dressing.
No. Good old Chuck.
Surely Charles would know that the governing body is not the Fédération Internationale de Toasters, but the Fédération Internationale de Pain Grillé.
Very good.
Very good.
I think the point is that, you know, we are on this show absolutely the first to acknowledge the historical lead that America has given the toaster world, but I feel that their decision to stick with simple oval-based toasting rather than looking at multiple toasts that can go both left and right has limited their potential in the marketplace.
Finally, on this matter, an open letter to Peter Windsor. This from one of our listeners. Dear Peter, it pains me deeply to be writing this letter. We both know it's not working out. Let's just say that we feel the need for some sort of closure. Besides, one of us should admit that it's all over. At our age, we've been around the block a few times and know a few things about easing the pain. It was so hopeful in the beginning. We were always happy to see you bouncing around the grid, interviewing celebrities and crew. Such a charming smile and that accent. I still don't understand why we Americans are so taken by the British accent. But, well... And then your big announcement. You were leaving the bright lights of television to return to the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula One. Not only that, it was to be an American team based right here in our heartland. We felt so special. With all those exotic locations to choose from, Cologne, Thailand, Abu Dhabi, not to mention all those British locations with such charming names, but you chose good old Charlotte, North Carolina, and we were just too happy. And you keep stating so strongly your desire to bring American drivers into the sport again. We all knew it was a bit optimistic, but just hearing you say that so charming way that it was just something we couldn't resist. It had been so long since anyone paid that much attention to us that we didn't mind if it was probably too good to be true. Maybe all that talk made it easy to ignore the warning signs like press releases that seemed to be, well, a little over the top. Yes, sure, we try to be guarded, hide the excitement. It's been such a long time and the years have not been kind. Well, we didn't even have our own Grand Prix. We're not even worthy of hosting a single race on the calendar. Why should we believe we'd have a team again? Truth is, my friends warned me. They kept saying little things like, what about the car? Has he showed you any pictures of the car? Any crash test results? Anything tangible? Well, I just ignored that because we so wanted this to work out. Maybe because you're British and you've always had the teams, the know-how and an uninterrupted history of Grand Prix, you just weren't aware of our fragile state. We've felt the sting of betrayal and the recent years have been painful. Tony George was once young and full of promise. He had heritage and bloodline on his side, but in the end, he ruined our most prized possession. Now, that was a break-up from hell. I swear, it seemed that he couldn't have it all. He'd make sure it wasn't worth having. There were others, of course, like the Franz family that took the American institution of stock car racing and turned it into something like arena combat. I'm sorry if I sound bitter, Peter, but you know it hurts. Well, we'll always have our memories of good men and good teams. You might not be aware of it, but we've had a couple of world champions and a man that had the nerve and capabilities to bring a fully and truly American team to the grid. Well, of course, he wasn't all like you. He was quiet, determined, and tall. But that's just history now. No use getting all teary-eyed about things we can't change. Well, we told ourselves that we'd write this letter and not get negative, and this seems to be a good time to say our goodbyes. You know, we still wish you the best, and we're bound to run into each other from time to time around the supermarket or the mall. Maybe we'll even have our own Grand Prix again. Please don't worry about us, we'll be fine. You know, Sebring's only around the corner now, and we've always had a thing for sports cars. Yours truly, the American racing fan.